So it's Friday morning, it can mean only one thing. Somebody else has released a new modeler.
When there is no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
Yo guys, welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, if you're old school, you know what we're about by now. It's basically just a load of honest review gear demos and thoughts on new gear and stuff. Predominantly modeling at the minute, even though I do love my lane amplification. But yeah, stick with the modeling stuff. So it's happened again. I've woke up on Thursday. It's now Friday, just because I've got a baby. And Line 6 have announced the Helix Stadium. So we all knew this was coming. As soon as ToneX dropped, everyone in the market had to up their game. Helix have just joined that team. So they've upped the game with the Helix Stadium. Now the Helix Stadium is kind of what we've all been waiting for. Well, with caveats, I don't know. I'm really excited by it. So the Helix Stadium and the Helix Stadium XL. So the Helix Stadium floor, and the Helix Stadium XL floor. So the Helix, I'm going to mess this up loads. The Helix Stadium XL floor is the replacement for the old floor unit. So basically, you've got the scribble strips, you've got the built-in expression pedal, and basically that. A lot smaller though. I'm sure you can remember that the Helix was a big old girl. She is a mighty beast. So looking at the diagrams, it looks like the Helix Stadium floor will be about... Oh, this is great because I can draw it in the dust. About that big. You can see that line in the dust. So it basically, it's a little bit smaller from so like halfway down the screen, maybe a little bit higher, and about to there. So it's a sizable chunk smaller. Still, do you know what? It's not a million miles bigger than the Quad Cortex. It'll be about the same size as the Quad Cortex, maybe a tad bigger. But this is a chunk. So it's going to be a bit smaller, a bit lighter than that. That's okay, I'm down with that. So straight away we've got a size benefit. Also a weight benefit. It's a lot lighter than the old Helix family of stuff. Mark 1 up for Line 6. Brilliant job. Next thing is this next level responsiveness. They're saying obviously it's got a better processor and it's all singing, all dancing. The DSP now is a lot bigger, so you must be not going to run out of any kind of effects or come up against any kind of grayed out blocks. But the Agora amp modeling mythology, not technology, mythology is what the terminology they're using, is going to set a new benchmark in the authentic amplifier sound and responsiveness. Now this is a promise that all model companies make, all amp cloning. Now we've got a new terminology. It's not modeling or capturing anymore, it's cloning. So amp cloning is going to be the next stage in responsiveness and sound, supposedly. I'm struggling to get beyond perfect. If I model, say, my Marshall or my Invective or some of my Laneys into my Quad Cortex or my ToneX or my Kemper or whatever, and it is exactly the same, and it feels either exactly the same or very, very, very close, surely we're already there. This is meant to be better. I don't know how you can get better than perfect. Instant inspiration. So what you've got is an 8-inch high-res touchscreen that offers kind of really, really cool kind of functionality. So it's got this kind of, if you've ever used a keyboard, you find that there's like a continuous control screen that you can kind of add synth effects or whatever. The amp models have that, so it'll have built-in fatter or tighter or crunchier, and you just put your finger where you want that extra emotion to be, that extra inspiration, which I think is a great asset. I think that'll be really, really good, especially for guys who are just coming into the modeling, capturing, and cloning game or multi-effects game, and they just want a quick sound really quick. You pick the amp you want, you get a really great graphic of it, which again, well done Line 6, because it's cool, you know what I mean, we like toys. And then you just kind of shift your finger to where you want it to be, and that'll kind of alter your preset for you. That's great. That's a super quick way of getting the job done. So I really enjoy that. That's going to be cool. But if you are just jumping into this game, I don't think you're going to be wanting to spend the type of money that Line 6 are asking. We'll get to that in a sec. Total control, so Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, so everything eventually, not just yet I don't think, but eventually everything will be controllable through an app on your mobile, which is going to be also great. Also, and this is the thing that is really, really kind of impressed me, I'm currently in a unit where we're running a ton of click tracks to trigger certain samples and stuff. And then I'm having to attach through main stage MIDI continuous control that will then MIDI control all my rig. And that also will run into a DMX board, which triggers all the lighting rig and the flames and stuff. So it's quite a complicated rig, and we need a Dave. We have a Dave who does all that for us. Now, what they've done with this thing called the Showcase is that you can load in your track into the Helix, and you can actually assign MIDI CCs and DMX indexes into the actual track. So you could literally show up and play that type of show. Full lighting rig, full flames, full backing track, full trigger, full MIDI from a Helix. Plus as well, because the DSP is quite powerful now, that could legitimately be your guitar, your bass, your rhythm guitar, and your vocals all running in. Everything's got better. The mic pre's are better. There's a bunch of extra gain. They've really hired the headroom, the floor, which is great. So yeah, that's exciting. If you can do all of that in the stadium, then well done, Line 6. You've really listened, and I think that's where the name is coming from, to be honest with you. I don't think this is for the guy. I don't think this is for the bedroom guy. I think this is for guys who are playing big shows with big requirements. So what you get really is an entirely new Agora model in mythology, not technology. I don't know where mythology is coming from. Hype control, which what that basically does is it takes it from a super realized actual version of the amp that you've modeled or they've modeled, and then it gives you what Line 6 think is the ultimate sound of that amp, which is a thing called hype. So you can hype that amp up to wherever you want it to be. Now that might not fit perfectly in the mix anymore, but it'll sound bloody brilliant at home or whatever. So I don't know what the hype is, but it feels like it's one of these quick fixes to get a great sound. Proxy amp cab and effects cloud based cloning engine. So this is this new cloning rather than modeling and capturing, and that's all done off unit. So you model your amp in however you do it. You clone your amp in, that goes off into the cloud, does all of the processing in the cloud, and then you get an email to say that your amp is ready when it's done. Resolution on the touchscreen is high res. There's OLED scribble strips only on the XL. The Stadium doesn't get any scribble strips. I knew it was going to happen. Focus view with that parameter control, so that gives you all of the like tight bass, hype, crunchy, whatever. The Showcase automation and playback engine, which is phenomenal. That's the game changer for me, and I know we band around that word a lot, or words. A highly precise expression pedal, XL only, but it's available as an aftermarket. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth control, great, and free Helix Stadium editing software, so you get a HX Stadium editor, which I haven't seen yet. So that's kind of it. So size-wise, the Stadium is, I would say, maybe 2 inches to an inch bigger than the Quad Cortex, which is phenomenal for what you get. Quad Cortex is great, but for the Stadium, the Helix Stadium, that's a mint thing. But you don't get the expression pedal. Yeah. The fact that I can go and buy a Helix expression pedal and use it on my Quad Cortex is boss, because I do like Helix stuff. The Helix Stadium XL floor, you get expression pedal. You get 12 OLED scribble strips. My scribble strips on my Helix are still going strong. I've had my Helix now for the length of the time, maybe a little bit longer, so I've had it for like 10 and a half years now. I was at the birth of it, really, and my unit has never let me down. Never. It's never bricked. It's never broke. It's bomb-proof. So I know you are getting at least 10 years out of this product. And they haven't dropped Helix. Helix is still being supported. So we've got XLR mic preamps with 120 dB of dynamic range. Speed diff, that's all in there. SP diff. Supports up to 4 effects loops. Supports up to 4 external expression pedals. Supports up to 4 external amp control outs, which is brilliant because if you still want to use external amps, you can just run out into those. Nexus port for expanding. So that's where you lose your HX link and stuff, but you can buy modules to fit onto this new proprietary input. And it's a dual piece extruded aluminium top chassis with folded steel base plate. That sounds interesting. Helix Stadium doesn't get the thing, the Tidal, and it doesn't get the scribble strips, but other than that, it's pretty much the same unit. It supports 2 drum trigger inputs, 2 external amps, 2 external expressions, and 2 effects loops. So it drops 2 of those features. I think the 2 amp heads would be enough for most people, but the fact that it's called the Stadium means that this is for guys who are running maybe 5 or 6 rigs. I don't know, but it's helping amp companies out, man, because it's getting your amp back in the mix. The EX2 is a standalone expression pedal, and the Expand D10 gives you your Variax back, your Variax connection back, your power cab. You can send 2 channels of digital audio, 48 Hz. You can send 8 channels of digital audio over Toslink, and it connects the Helix Stadium processors with the Cat6 cable via Nexus, so that's great. And there's a backpack as well. So that's it, guys. It's absolutely what we expected. It's what they needed to do. They've answered everything. The first unit being the Stadium is small enough and powerful enough to possibly be a great competitor to what is the industry standard now, which is the Quad Cortex. So I think Line 6 are going to give Neural run for the money there, as long as the Agora and the Clone and Proxy live up to the hype. If they sound as good as Line 6 are saying they're going to, then that might be it. But again, I don't know how you better perfect, and I'm getting perfect results as is. So I think it might just be brand loyalty at this point. Graphics look great, screen looks great, all touchscreen. It's the functionality and the usability of Line 6 as well, which is great. Copied by QC, and now QC have been copied by Line 6 with the smaller form factor and everything. Multicolored touch capacitive, I'm assuming still touch capacitive. It's not mentioned actually. I hope they're still touch capacitive foot switches. It looks really, really good. I implore you all to go and watch the keynote, which was about an hour long. Fantastic. But the thing that's going to get me on board is the showcase. Absolutely phenomenal, especially as a solo guitar player as well. I run a lot of backing tracks when I go out and do clinics. If I can just get all my effects changing and everything being automated so I don't really have to look at my gear, isn't that a win? That'd be really, really good. But it's a bit lazy maybe, I don't know. So that's it. Is there anything I've missed? Pricing. Okay, so, and here's the kind of capper really. So the Helix, let me just double check my figures. So Helix Stadium is $17.99. Now that's going to be comparative to UK, so that's going to be 1,800 quid. That's a big number. That's a big number. So you kind of now fractal FM9 numbers. And the Stadium XL, you're sitting down, $2,200, which is going to be £2,200 without a doubt. Also, he did say starting at. Now, I don't know whether that was intentional or not. I can't see there being, well, unless there's bundles, but yeah. So basically, Helix Stadium, $1,799. Helix Stadium XL, £2,200 or dollars. That's big. That's big numbers. They have dropped the Helix standard, or the current Helix, down. So the Helix floor now is $12.99, which is better. So I suppose Helix is more affordable than ever. But I don't know where I stand on this £2,200 for the big boy, or $1,800. Now, if you're using it the way it should be used and the way I think it's intentionally meant to be used, and your whole band are running through it, and you're running all your backing tracks through it, and it's replacing your lighting rig and everything, for £1,800, it's a steal. It's an absolute bargain. But if you're just buying this for guitar tones, 1,800 quid's a big ask. It is a big ask, but let's see how we get on. It can't sound any better than the Helix, really. Maybe it will, I don't know. But I'm really happy with the results I'm getting from Helix after all the updates and everything. So it's, I don't know how it can be any better, really. But let's wait and see. We'll get our hands on one, and we'll do some playing on it. But yes, that's the big take, man. It's smaller, it's lighter, it's more powerful. It's got a cloning engine coming soon. The graphics are great on it. There's some touch panel elements that allow for just quick editing on the fly rather than delving deep into tone shaping. So that might be a bit better for the guys who just want to plug in and play. Yeah. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Is this a day one purchase for you guys? If you have Helix, are you going to upgrade to Helix Stadium? If you don't have Helix, but you've been thinking about jumping on the Line 6 train, is this enough to jump you over? And yeah, I recommend you go and check out the website. I'll leave the link in the description below. Go and check out Line 6 and see what they've got going on. It's very interesting. But yeah, let's see what happens. But goddamn you, Tonex. Literally since you came out, mate, everyone's pulling the thumbs out their asses. Can't keep up. Right, okay, so I'll mostly see you next Friday, and someone else will have released something new. Take it easy, guys, and I'll see you on the flip side.